Welcome back to a new episode on my channel. This is the first episode of the magnificent Puddle series, in which I take samples from different puddles to see what microorganisms live in them. Fortunately, it has rained the last few days, so I could go out with my dog and look for an appealing puddle. This one looked promising and I took a sample of it. Back home, I let the sample sit overnight so that the sediment could settle a bit at the bottom of the jar. And now we can get started and see what we can discover in the puddle water. The very first thing that caught my eye was this speedy little guy. It jumps around constantly and I had a lot of trouble filming it because it kept disappearing from my field of view. The typical jumping movements can be used to determine which microorganism is present. It is a ciliate of the genus Halteria. This ciliate is equipped with bristle-like cirri, which can be seen here. They enable this little critter to make these fast jumps with a migration distance per second that reaches 100 times the cell size. Halteria is very common in freshwater environments. They live heterotrophically. This means that they cannot produce their own food, for example by photosynthesis. They feed on plants, animals or other organisms. This ciliate here is a so-called bacterivore, so it feeds mainly on bacteria. Looking at Halteria in dorsal view, it almost looks like a small sun to me. If we just looked at a small sun, we are now looking at the moon. Joking aside, here you can see an unidentified ciliate. If any of you can identify it, please let me know in the comments. The large, whitish area in the center is the so-called macronucleus. Among other things, it controls metabolic processes. Under a higher magnification, you can observe the countless cilia. The next microorganism is so big that you can see it with the naked eye. In our sample, these small whitish spots are swimming around everywhere. They are also easy to see on the microscopic slide. Does anyone have any idea what this could be? All those white spots are rotifers. Damn big rotifers, to be honest, which really scared me sometimes when I was examining the sample and they suddenly zoomed through my field of view. These big guys and gals belong to the genus Epiphanes, which can be found all over the world, even in Antarctica. I also discovered several species of larvae in the puddle. And one of them is this one. This mosquito larva belongs to the genus Culex. First, a female mosquito laid eggs in a kind of raft on the water surface of our puddle. And from these eggs then hatched the larvae, which usually swim just below the water surface. With their bristly mouthparts, which look a bit like a funny mustache, they can move back and forth vertically. Throughout the larval stage, the larvae remain in the water and feed on plant material and other organic matter. After some time, the larvae pupate, and after another 24 to 48 hours, the adult mosquitoes hatch, preying on our nutritious blood. The other larva I discovered belongs to the family of chironomids. They play a major role in the food chain, as the larvae are the main food source for some fish species. The chironomid larvae have powerful mandibles, as you can see here. But don't worry. Unlike mosquitoes, adult chironomid flies cannot bite us. Their mouthparts are not suitable for biting and bloodsucking, and in many species they are even completely deformed. They feed mostly on nectar and honeydew. This larva is probably not very enthusiastic about being a part of this episode. Yes, it is what it looks like. As an act of revenge for its involuntary appearance, it pooped on the slide. Thanks a lot. Ew. Now look at this funny shaped green thing. To me it looks like a green bean, but it is an alga of the genus Closterium, which belongs to the order of desmids. It gets its bright green color from the pigment chlorophyll. The erline spheres that look like the seeds of a bean pod are actually small protein grains called pyrenoids. Among other things, they serve to store reserve substances. In this green alga, starch granules form around them. These two trampling structures at the respective ends are the vacuoles of the alga. They contain crystals that perform trampling movements due to Brownian molecular motion. At the cell ends, this alga can also secrete mucus, with which it can move slowly. I was also able to spot another species of algae that was quite pretty to look at. This one here belongs to the genus Pandorina. They form globular colonies, which are held together by a colorless slime. If you look closely, you can see that the individual green cells have some kind of whips. These whips are also called flagella. The Pandorina also gets its beautiful green color from the chloroplasts, which are filled with chlorophyll. The red spot you can see here is the eye spot. This is a sensory organelle that allows cells to detect and respond to the intensity of light. Really fascinating what you can discover in a puddle, isn't it? Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Magnificent Puddles. Which microorganism was your favorite? If you want to know what other exciting little creatures can be found in puddles, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new episodes. Have a great day and see you next time!